but I would probably fight Conor if that came about.
The final grind has begun. Conor McGregor is leaving nothing behind as he sharpens every weapon ahead of his long-awaited UFC 329 rematch with Max Holloway. As Conor McGregor looks sharper than ever, drilling relentless grappling sequences that could become a major weapon in the rematch. His explosive pad work highlights lightning-fast combinations, pinpoint accuracy, and the timing that made him one of the UFC's most dangerous strikers. If this version of McGregor shows up at UFC 329, his punching power could pose a serious threat to Max Holloway from the opening bell. Every brutal rowing session and every explosive burst of power sends a clear warning. Conor McGregor is preparing for war, not just another fight. With UFC 329 closing in, the tension between McGregor and Max Holloway is reaching a boiling point as both men look ready to settle their rivalry once and for all. If this intensity carries into the Octagon, fans could witness one of the most violent and unforgettable rematches in UFC history. Conor McGregor is shown grinding through brutal pad work, every shot echoing raw power as his trainer insists he's unstoppable with the strength he's carrying now. The intensity spikes as Conor himself declares it's not just talent anymore, it's obsession, a mindset shift that turns every strike into something sharper and more dangerous. And with his own words about being more experienced, backed by explosive movement and power, the message is clear. This version of Conor isn't building form, he's building a finishing machine. Dustin Poirier made it clear he's still locked under UFC contract, but he's not ruling out a comeback if the money fight or legacy clash is right. And the loudest name in his mouth was Conor. If it happens again, he's willing to run it back with Conor McGregor without hesitation. But while Conor stands at the center of his comeback talk, he also admits Gaethje unfinished business lingers, showing Conor is still the biggest pull, but not the only score left to settle.
I have no doubt you've had many offers since retiring to come and do other combat sports and other combat
I'm
things.
still under contract with the UFC.
So there's a chance.
I'll come back.
So you're saying there's a chance?
No, there's definitely a chance. If it's the right fight, I'll come back for sure.
What would be the right fight for you, do you think?
I don't know. When I hear it, I'll know.
Yeah.
If they ever called me or something ever came about, I'll know. But I would probably fight Conor if that came about. Nate Diaz, I want to whip his ass for years and years and years. We never got to fight. I would come back for that. There's a few I would come back for.
So, okay, on those two. So, for example, Conor's coming back.
I mean, me and Gaethje are 1-1. You know, that needs closure too.
I always thought that would be your last one.
But
you
we
and Gaethje.
Yeah, but we both know it's going to be a head-on collision. We kind of shook hands and let's not do this to our families again. Years ago, we kind of shook hands at a UFC event. Let's not do this again. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I don't know, but I would come back.
In addition to that, Chael Sonnen turns the heat up by highlighting Conor McGregor's lingering leg injury and how it could completely reshape his confidence inside the cage. He points to a real comparison with Chris Weidman, explaining how even elite champions start doubting their own body after a serious injury. And in a fight this big, that split-second hesitation whether to kick, step, or explode could be the exact moment that decides everything.
I'm just sharing for you, it's not as significant as you might think. The fight between Conor and Max, if it was at 145 as it's already been, if it was at 55 or if it's at 70 like it's going to be, whoever is going to win that fight is going to win that fight. So let's make a case for Conor. He hasn't been in there. He's dealing with a leg injury. One guy that had that same leg injury and spoke candidly about it is Chris Weidman. Hall of Famer, world champion, one of the GOATs. Chris Weidman is that good. And he said, man, I questioned that leg. I questioned, should I throw it for a kick? I questioned, can I take a kick? I questioned, can I push off it? I questioned, should I lead it or should I stash it behind me and switch my stance? So Conor's going to be dealing with those things. No matter what a Superman Conor is, he's not Superman.
However, Chael Sonnen makes it clear there's no fantasy path for McGregor here if he wins. It won't be a drawn-out battle. It's going to be pure violence. He breaks it down bluntly. The only way Conor McGregor finishes this is by knocking Max Holloway out. Nothing less will cut it. And in Sonnen's eyes, that means everything rides on one explosive moment, because if it doesn't end early, it's already slipping away.
So, okay, now that we're being very realistic about it, if you tell me you think Conor McGregor is going to win, what I'm hearing is you think Conor's going to knock Max out. And if you tell me you think Conor's going to knock Max out, what I'm hearing is that you think Conor can get him out of there in the first round. That sounds right. If Conor's going to get the jump on Max, and particularly the way that Conor fights, right? More of a striker.
Chael Sonnen escalates the stakes by pointing out how Max Holloway's slight betting edge reflects the brutal reality of this matchup. He stresses that if McGregor is going to win, it won't be a long chess match. It has to come through that explosive left hand that can flip everything in a second. And in his final warning, he makes it clear, one clean shot is the difference between legacy revival and another harsh reality check for Conor.
Striking fast, striking while being hit, it requires an incredible output. And this mountain isn't insurmountable. By the way, my partners at DraftKings have this less than 3-1. They got Max the favorite, but it was 280. That is shockingly close. That is shockingly close for a guy that's been out for half a decade, going into a new weight class, going into a 5-round atmosphere. But there is a case for Conor. There is. That left hand is an incredible equalizer. But there again, if you tell me you think Conor's going to win, I'm hearing you think Conor's going to knock him out. If you tell me you think Conor's going to knock him out, I'm hearing you think he's going to do it in the first round. If you tell me you think Conor's going to knock him out in the first round, I'm hearing Conor's going to land that left hand.
From Michael Bisping and Paul Felder were stunned by Conor McGregor's unmatched drawing power, saying it's almost unbelievable that after 5 years away from the Octagon, he's still generating more hype than the UFC's biggest events. Bisping called it mind-blowing that the sport has changed, champions have come and gone, yet McGregor's return is still dominating the conversation. Felder agreed completely, saying it's incredible that Conor remains this relevant after such a long absence, proving that no fighter in MMA commands attention quite like the Notorious.
That's what I'm saying here. I'm not sitting here because I know a lot of you guys love to talk shit now, and I don't know why you do that. We are fighters first. Paul's a fighter. I'm a fighter. I want all fighters to make as much money as possible, but of course we collect fucking paychecks from the UFC. We're commentators. We love this sport though. That's why we do it, and we're passionate about it. But the fact that Conor McGregor can be away for 5 years, the sport change, people come and go, fighters retire, fair weather fans leave, new fans come around, and McGregor returns, and apparently it's trending even bigger than the biggest event of all time. Jesus Christ, that is mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane that he can come out after that long and still be that relevant. But hey, it is what it is, and that's why we're glad to have him back. I mean, I hope that he shows up and looks good and has really put in a training camp for this, because if he can be competitive against Max Holloway.
Furthermore, Michael Bisping and Paul Felder didn't sugarcoat it if Conor McGregor is going to shock the world. It has to happen immediately. Bisping argued that after 5 years away, Conor simply can't afford a long, grinding fight against a relentless pressure fighter like Max Holloway, who only gets stronger as the rounds go on. Felder backed that assessment completely, warning that McGregor's explosive first-round power is still terrifying. But if Max survives the early storm, the momentum shifts dramatically in Holloway's favor, and Conor could find himself overwhelmed by the pace.
And of course, it's a big
if.
It's a big if, because you got to think, if he's going to get it done, it'll only be in spectacular fashion. Because if Conor McGregor is going to win this fight, it will only be if he knocks him out in the first round. Yeah. And I say that respectfully. I'm looking at it through my analytical hat, not a personal hat or anything like that. He's never had a 5-round style. He's just never been that guy. He's always gassed the later the fight goes. Typically in round 2, he starts to fade because he's an explosive fast starter. And after 5 years away, there's no way. And I'm sure he's trained hard, and I'm sure he's prepared, and I'm sure he's ready. But I don't think he's preparing harder now than what he was pre-2016. I just don't think that's necessarily.
When he was obsessed, right? When I was a huge fan of Conor, when he was first coming out, when we got into the UFC, it was around the same time that he was kind of becoming a star, and I was on the come up as a young fighter in the game. And I remember I used to love watching his training videos because he was doing unorthodox shit. He was just, when he was a 145er in particular on the way up, all he thought about was mixed martial arts and becoming the best, whether it was on the microphone and how he handled himself, wearing the suits way before he should even be wearing and paying for those kind of suits. He lived as a superstar and as a world champion way before he ever got there, and which I think people loved about him. This poor kid from Ireland who's coming in and changing the game.
Moreover, Michael Bisping and Paul Felder agreed that Conor McGregor's path to victory is razor thin, but still very real. They stressed that McGregor must explode out of the gate and capitalize on his trademark first-round power before Max Holloway settles into his relentless rhythm. Both pointed out that Holloway only grows stronger as the fight wears on, making the opening minutes Conor's biggest opportunity. If McGregor lands one of his signature left hands early, they believe the entire MMA world could be turned upside down in an instant.
Max only gets stronger as the fight goes on.
But could you imagine the scenes? Because if he gets it done, and it is possible, it's not an unbelievable task to think that Conor McGregor might knock someone out in the first round. He's got a history of doing that. That's a fact, it is. Now, imagine the scenes if he does that. If he comes back and knocks out Conor McGregor in the first round, I won't be able to take it. Because the Conor McGregor is going to go to another level.
However, Paul Felder ultimately sided with Max Holloway, saying that's the prediction he's sticking with despite the enormous intrigue surrounding Conor McGregor's return. At the same time, he admitted there's still a small part of him that wants to see the incredible comeback story unfold because of how massive it would be for the sport. Even so, his respect for Holloway runs deep, acknowledging that he wouldn't be surprised to see Max spoil the comeback and remind everyone why he's one of the toughest fighters in MMA.
I'm going to pick Max. I think I'm going to stick to that. However, there's a small part of me, obviously, that would love to see the world where Conor wins, but it's even tough to say that too, because I have nothing but love for Max Holloway. So I wouldn't mind seeing him whip his ass.
In the end, Curtis Blaydes isn't buying the Conor McGregor comeback hype. He believes Max Holloway's relentless activity, sharper conditioning, and unwavering hunger give him a decisive edge, while McGregor's long layoff raises serious doubts about whether the old fire is still there. For Blaydes, unless Conor proves he's still willing to grind like a champion, Holloway is the one who walks away with the biggest win of his career.
I think he knocks him out. I don't think anyone can really argue that McGregor's hungry like he used to be. Is he hungry enough to be getting in the gym and doing the things he has to do, doing that hour of bag work, doing those hours of drilling? I don't know. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I believe Holloway's hungrier. I believe he's more locked in, and he's gonna win.
As of now, can Conor McGregor really complete the greatest comeback in MMA history against Max Holloway? It starts by showcasing McGregor's intense training camp, highlighting his improved grappling, explosive striking, strength, and renewed obsession with becoming a dangerous finisher. The story then shifts to Dustin Poirier teasing another McGregor fight, proving Conor remains the biggest draw in the sport. From there, Chael Sonnen, Michael Bisping, Paul Felder, and Curtis Blades all weigh in, creating a balanced debate. While some believe McGregor's only path to victory is an early knockout, others question whether his long layoff, leg injury, and Holloway's relentless pace will be too much to overcome. The script ends by leaving viewers with the biggest mystery in MMA. Will McGregor revive his legacy, or will Holloway end the comeback before it truly begins? The countdown to UFC 329 is almost over, and soon we'll find out whether Conor McGregor can shock the world once again, or if Max Holloway will prove that time waits for no one inside the Octagon. One explosive night could change both men's legacies forever. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more UFC news, fight analysis, and behind-the-scenes updates, don't forget to like this video, share it with your fellow MMA fans, and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you never miss the latest fight breakdowns and exclusive combat sports coverage.